Hey everybody, welcome to Three Fat Truckers. We're your hosts. I'm Bill. Joining me is my co-host Dave. How you doing,
How are
Dave?
you? How you doing, today, guys? Wonderful, wonderful day going on so far in Midwest.
Yeah, you say in the Midwest because as anybody that's watching the show would notice, we are a man short.
We have a
We
man
have a
down.
man down. We have a driver that is firmly on line 1,
Yeah,
off duty, not driving, and it's line 1, right?
yeah, it is
Yeah.
lane one. Yeah,
Um
yeah. I don't
He
know.
lives
It's a
in
tablet
Kentucky.
now.
Yeah, I know. Look how quickly you lose track of these things,
I
it's
know it.
crazy to me. Um, he lives down in Kentucky, and the weather down there has not been so kind. He's had some mudslides, and it's taken out a lot of their utilities down there, including the internet and water and electricity. So he
And
he tried
a
like
lot of
hell to
mud.
get. Oh yeah, a lot of mud.
A lot of mud.
Mudslides, no joke, man. I mean, we wouldn't know about that around here, this part of the
Yeah.
country, because it's flat, but down there,
I had
it's a
one the other
reality.
day. I stepped out of the truck and my foot hit the mud. And woo! That's
Well,
not the same.
I'm just thinking, the one down in Kentucky, how many people's it taken out now?
I think we're up to. I heard
It's in the
19.
teens,
Yeah,
19
19
people.
people have died.
Oh
Well, when you
gosh.
live at the bottom of a holler,
Yeah.
you know, the rivers
I wonder
go
if
up,
that's
the
why they
mud
call
comes
it a
down.
holler,
Yeah.
because you gotta
Get out
holler
of
up,
there.
"Help, get me out of here." Okay, too
He
soon.
was
Too
yeah,
soon.
he was telling me about the grocery store's got like an inch and a half of mud on the parking lot down there where everything was
Oh
flooded.
boy.
So crazy.
Yeah, so he's dealing with that. So we're gonna dredge on, just the two of us, to see what we can come up with. But I don't know. We had an idea for a segment we were gonna run on the show. We'll
Oh,
save
we're
that
still
for
doing it. We're
we're
just
s-
delaying it a week.
yeah, we're just gonna delay it till he
Yeah.
comes back. It was his ideas,
Yeah.
and it would be kind of crappy for us to do something like that
Yes.
without him.
Oh,
I
I'll
think
steal his shit. But yeah, we're gonna post two news stories. And we're gonna make everybody guess which one's the real one because we've learned that there's a lot of weird news out there.
there is, and it's almost undistinguished. Real stories. It's gotten so weird that real stories are almost distinguishable from fake ones. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a little, yeah, I guess you could call it a contest, but I think we're just gonna have a little fun. We're gonna read a couple of stories that are true and a couple of stories that are fake, and we're gonna see if anybody can guess which ones are true or fake. And
Mm.
in the age when almost anything can be looked up on Google, I would really urge the listener and or watcher to refrain from using their Google food just for the sake of having a little fun. I mean, come on,
Now,
people.
if you want to get in the onion and look around, you might do some good.
Hey, yeah, if you've got them kind of skills, the Onion is an interesting place for searching for information.
Yes, makes
It's
your
not the
eyes
same.
water.
Oh man, oh man! Somebody
Uh,
get a bucket of water. This kid's
oh,
on
we're here
fire.
all day, all
Yeah.
day.
I guess we'll get into news. I got some news though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell
So
me.
I went to the
Just
doctor
ooh,
Friday, and it was my regular.
mammogram.
Yes, yeah, you got to keep up on that.
Yeah, get the
Um,
stirrup, put your feet in the hoops.
yay! I think I'm at the wrong doctor. No,
That's
I
supposed to
went.
be an exit, not an entrance.
She came in with one of those little finger pricks, and I wasn't even expecting that. Uh, well, I'm gonna check your A1C, and my
Yeah.
A1C has been going down over the last year and a half. When he first started testing me, it was about 6.8. And 3 months later, he checked me again. I was down to 6.4, somewhere thereabouts. The last time I was in the doctor was at 6.1. And Friday, they checked it and it's at 5.9, which
Woohoo.
it has not been below 6 in 8 years or better.
Way to
So
go, brother.
that is
Stay off the
fantastic
A1
news.
sauce and that'll come right down.
The only thing I do is I don't eat between 7 p.m. and 11 a.m. That's what I do, and I'm not always perfect at that. There are times where, you just folks that are on the road, how it is. It's almost impossible to keep up with any kind of diet. This was the
Yeah.
closest thing that somebody like myself could adhere to because it's not adding anything. I don't have to have something special. I simply just have to not eat. And
Yeah.
when
Fasting
you're
is
on,
all the best
I
because
suppose it is because it did fix A1C because he was this close about a year and a half ago. I was telling you about this.
yeah.
He was gonna start me down the path of, diabetes medicine
Yes,
and all that.
shooting. Well, it's funny because I went in and talked to a surgeon about a sciatic problem I've been dealing with, and I was in the hospital 22 days last year for a
Mm,
little COVID. And
yeah,
I said, I need to start exercising. And he goes, yes, exercising is good, Dave, but losing weight is not by exercising. I go, what? And he goes, weren't you in the hospital 22 days? And I go, yes. And he goes, how much weight did you lose? I said, 35 pounds. And he goes, did you exercise a lot while you was in the hospital? And I go, okay, I get your point.
I
Shovel
don't
in
know.
less, shovel in less.
I think what he meant by that was probably that he understood that you going and trying to exercise in order to lose weight would be a shocking change to your
Right.
lifestyle. And those changes are almost doomed to fail every single time because people you get into the general rhythm of your life at a relatively young age. I mean, I don't mean like as a child, but I mean, in your
Right.
younger adult years. And
We recreate habits,
yeah, we do.
and
And
that's what it
it's
is,
really,
habits.
really hard to change the tempo, the day to
Yeah,
day. You
well,
can add little things here and there, but you're
that's why
not
you
going to
eating at
change.
11 o'clock is breaking up the tempo. It's you're
Yeah,
changing a habit. You're not putting nothing into your body until 11 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
which
and it's
I don't know because you'll be talking to him at 10:55, and it's like, hey, I
I
gotta
don't
go, and
answer.
I'm like, what the hell do you mean you gotta go? I just called. And it's time to eat. Later, bye.
I'll tell you what, by 11 o'clock some days, I'm ready to eat something or somebody. I'll tell you what,
So
because it gets. But there are days I don't even get to eat until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon because you know
yeah,
how it is, folks. You get stuck at a customer, and that's it's just the way it goes. So
life throws us funny.
it does. I wanted
So
to share that with everybody though, because I was
well,
real.
congratulations. That does
Yeah.
deserve a big. Oh, wait a minute. I don't even have
Oh, here it is,
slack
folks.
slacking. I don't even have my sound effects ready, and I
Lord have
should.
mercy.
I know. Mercy has the Lord. Do
See, if
do do
we
do comedy.
we if we would have
Whoops.
nope,
I
that
got
ain't it. The
that ain't it.
applause.
Uh,
No, that ain't it. See, you're making it worse.
drum roll.
See, you ought to get a hold of the guy's name is Steve that makes this software we're using, and have him add sound effects to it
Yes, yeah.
because
Throw some stuff in just what you want the other Steve to have.
oh God, he was off the chain last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Wasn't he, folks? He was a bit. I think he realized after the show. He called me up. He's like, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
yeah. Well,
It's just a
he
good
drank a
thing.
half a bottle of Jock and or Jock, a half a
Jock,
bottle of Jock. Yeah,
he drank that there Jock Beam.
a Jock Beam will get you every
That
time.
Jock Beam, boy, I tell you what, a little bit of that over a little Coca Cola, and you be off to the races, buddy. Okay. All right.
So, you
Well, what do we
want some
got?
other useless news today?
Yeah, not why not? Let's have it.
Indianapolis. You know, we have the Indianapolis 500 down there. The big race they race every May.
Yeah.
The Indy cars are racing today down at Indy on the road course. Through the infield and stuff.
Okay.
And tomorrow the NASCAR guys are racing. Tell me that place ain't a zoo down there today.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 races in 1 weekend?
I can't even tell you how much I wouldn't want to be
Oh,
driving
man.
down.
Through Indy today,
Oh no,
plus
thank you.
downtown being closed, NASCAR and the cart both were woo!
No, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't like driving Indianapolis just on a normal day. I'll
yeah.
avoid it. I go way around it. I actually end up adding time to my day by going around it, but I don't care. I'm doing it for the sake of my sanity. I don't know when they're going to have that project going through town done, but it's going to be when they get that done.
It's supposed to be this fall.
Okay, well,
All I
they're
know
going
is,
to
they said 2 years, and we're on our 2nd year, so
when they get that done, they're going to have the south side on 465 plenty well screwed up for a while too, because they got a brand new interchange going in for the
oh,
new
yeah.
I-69 extension that's coming off. I was wondering how they were going to do that. That's going to so you got if you look at a map of Indianapolis down the south side, you've got all the truck stops there at exit 4. And then to the left of that is like a quarry, I think.
Right.
And there's like a lake at the quarry or pond or
Are they
whatever,
gonna
like
just make on-ramps and avoid the truck stops?
correct. It's going to be
Okay.
to the just to the left of that pond is where 69 is going to cut off. 37 is going to curve this way towards truck
Yeah.
stops. Uh, 69 it's going to wide just south of the truck stops. 69 is going to go up here to the left of that quarry, and 37 comes up here to the right of the quarry, to the east of the quarry, and that's
So
how that's going to
basically,
work.
and 69 is not gonna be a stop. You'll just
You would
right
just fly
on the
right on through there,
465. Yeah.
right?
So that's
But
good.
that's going to be
Oh, another year for that too, maybe.
because they're going to make out a big old spaghetti bowl kind of
Yeah, high
interchange.
rise.
You
Yeah.
already know there's going to be stuff going every which way,
But
you know.
but
But
once you
that
get
ain't really going to.
downtown, yeah, well, once you get
Yeah,
downtown, then you'll never have to go that way unless you're going down to
I won't.
Bedford.
My
Yeah, I'm like,
only my only
I don't go that
concern
way
is
now.
if I was going south on 65, I think it's going to screw things up enough to
But you
back
get off at
traffic up.
6. You think it's gonna back it up that far because you get off it's, what, 2
Boy, it's
miles
something
before
else. I think it's enough to just like if 70's done downtown,
yeah,
just run
half of
70
the
into
traffic
downtown and 65 down out of there instead of going all the way around the loop.
that ain't a bad idea.
That way you're
I've
avoiding
never
the
done that.
465. I haven't either, but we've never had this going on either.
Well, that's true. And,
And it might be a
trying to
smoother transition down there once they've got all that done
and trying
with
to
the
get to West Street down there is just a
oh,
nightmare now.
yeah.
Just
I've only been in there once since that whole thing has started into West
oh,
Street.
well, you're lucky because
Omnisource West Street.
you can, come in there you can come in off of 65, you know,
Yeah.
and I've done
And
that
that
a
ain't
few
too
times.
bad, but
No.
that traffic is so screwed up because of 74 and then again at 65 and people seem kind of confused because they come into Indianapolis and they're not expecting 70 to be closed downtown and then they
Same
have to
thing with
go
65 and go
yeah.
around. So where else
So,
did you go to this week? What else did you do?
okay, so here's how my week started. I took Monday off
Yeah,
and
so did I.
Tuesday, what did I do? Tuesday I loaded for Trenton, New Jersey. Boy, was
Oh,
I in.
oh
I was
yeah,
in
that's
for
right.
a gravy week, dude. We got this customer out in Trenton, New Jersey. And Trenton sounds bad, but it is not. It is by far one of the easiest places we go because you basically get on interstate highway and then highway
76.
1, yeah, 76, and you get over there to Philly, and then you get off and you're 276, and then
Yeah,
you get off on highway 1, US 1, and that goes up into Trenton.
and you
And the
go half
light,
a mile.
well,
Well, maybe 2
the
mile.
the interstate or the limited access highway literally ends right
Yes.
there where the customer is where it kind of the right side opens up to where you can make a turn
Yep.
directly into their gate and you're there. And but
It's so easy.
the best thing about this customer is they are compared to some of the other places we go, they are light industrial, which means they get 4 skids of this stuff that we take out there. And it's almost like having an empty trailer going all the way
Yeah.
out there. So So it was supposed to be gravy until it was so gravy. I was gonna run 80. I was gonna go no toll roads whatsoever until I got over by I-99. I was going to run down the state college and run down 322 and 22 down to Harrisburg, and then across that way to avoid as much
Scenic
tolls as
route.
possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
With the
whatever,
price
I
of
had the
everything else.
time. I just wanted to relax and do something since I was going to be light. Didn't have to worry about the hills so much. I was going to go that way. I got to the 120. Well, it was actually about the 105 or so in PA. I'm on the phone with my oldest boy, and the transmission starts making a funny noise. I said, I don't know what this is. I said, yeah, I better get off the phone. So I'm getting off the phone, and it's just making this weird noise, and I could feel it in the stick. It felt a lot like if you've got the stick in neutral and you kind of take your fingers and pull it back against the gears while you're sitting still and the engine's running, you can feel the gears kind of rubbing up against it. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
it felt like while it was in gear.
Yeah.
Like if I pulled back on it, I could feel gears rubbing up against it. I said, okay, that ain't right. And so I took it out of gear, and it just grinding, grinding, grind. It went into every gear. It would move. It would go down the road, but it just started grinding like something was loose and just banging around in there. So I
And
I
it wasn't
took
a
it.
nut behind the driver, right?
It wasn't me this time.
Okay.
I hope it wasn't me because this is the second. This will be the third transmission I've had in that truck. Um, that don't look
Hard
good,
on
does it?
equipment. My God, I
Uh,
wouldn't have said that out loud.
well, there you go. Um,
You went from a 13 speed to an 18 speed to an 18 speed to
Well, he's
whatever
putting
we get
another
now.
18 speed in there. He's like, "Yeah,
Oh,
I just sent it down to Palmer. They're just gonna." I told him just put another transmission and a brand new clutch in it,
well,
and
there you go.
it's only money. What he could, so that's where it's at right now. Well, anyway, to continue the saga, I pull into the Sap Brothers there at the 120, and I'm getting a hold of the boss man, and
I
I said
love
I can
that
guarantee
name.
the Sap Brothers
I
used
don't
to.
know why.
I used to stop at the one in Illinois back in the day on 80 there when I was going across hauling furniture back in the day. But anyway, I stop in there and I call the boss and said, I can guarantee what you're going to have to do is send somebody out here with a low boy, get this thing and bring me another truck. Well, they brought me a store bought truck. Um,
That's a hell of a mountain truck. Don't call it a store bought.
that is a sit and do nothing truck with a funky smell in the sleeper that I damn near wasted a whole bottle of Febreze trying
Febreze.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Should
he brings me a
have packed
tea.
dryer sheets.
Oh, well, I didn't know it was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
so I get he they send a guy from the office out there. He was a driver. Now he's in the office.
He
That's all I
he
got to say
he's
about
still
that.
a driver, but he was never a great driver, but he's a
Sorry, Keith,
driver.
if you're listening. Um, um,
I took him
set.
snow skiing once. I never laughed so hard in my life.
Oh no.
I put him on the bunny hill and I said, now to stop, you have to do what's called snow plowing. And you turn
No.
the tips of your skis together
No.
to stop. So we're on the bunny hill. And the bunny hill's not very long, and then there's a big at the bottom. That's where everybody crosses, and then behind it, and he literally goes down the bunny hill screaming like a little girl, gets to the people down there, get out of the way, goes right through the line of people up to they plow the snow up to the parking lot. Went up over the snow plow that they put there in the parking lot, hit the dry asphalt, and fell over. I never laughed so hard in my life.
Oh, poor guy. Well,
Oh,
they sent him out there with the low boy. Brought me that. Oh man, that truck was. Let's put it this way, folks. It's got a straight 10 in it, and at 65 mile an hour, you're at about 1800 RPMs.
just where you want to be.
You know it. Yeah, you can go right up over the hills, because
Mm.
you're
Don't
already
even
in a
slow
lower
down.
gear because there's no such thing as a high gear in this thing. And I ran it like that too. Heck with it. You want to bring this piece of junk out to me? I'm going to run this thing 1800 RPM all the way back. And that's what I did. I mean, you have to,
You know,
but
you laugh, but I drove in Detroit for years where I run it at 2,500 RPM
well, that's how
all
the older
day long.
motors worked. The older motors
I
were you had to get the RPMs to get the torque. These newer motors, the torque is at well, you've got how do they call it? High torque, low RPM.
right.
Yeah, and that's how these newer motors are. You're up in the red line and in the 2000 range. Brought me that out there. We screwed around for a little while getting that truck off the low boy. First off, he didn't get there until 11 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Did you hear what happened to him?
Uh-uh. He told me he got halfway out and stopped for the night.
No, okay. You finish now. You and what happened to him?
Okay.
There's more drama.
Well, I might he might anyway. So he got out there 11 o'clock. We switched around and then he told me, you know what, man, you might as well just go hook to the trailer and leave. Go deliver that load. I said, you sure?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
got this.
I got this. Well, he was trying to get the stacks off because my truck sitting on that trailer, the stacks were 1310. I was trying to talk him into taking it. Well, what if we hit a bridge? Well, then you won't have to worry about them no more.
Yeah, they'll bend over and you'll be fine.
Exactly, because Kim sent him with a sawzall,
Just cut them off.
just cut them off. Which
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about that because I happened to know they were $400 a piece, and I just did not want to waste the money that way. And you never know if it's going to be because the way supply chain stuff is going on right now, and something like that might be kind of hard to get a hold of. You never know. I
I don't
just
know.
didn't
I
want to.
think your truck looked pretty good with cut off stacks on it.
I originally wanted something a little shorter that did not stick up above the bunk quite so
Yeah.
far. That way, I could hook up to a dump trailer and get underneath, like that bridge up there at U.S. Steel. I got to go
Yeah.
all the way around to get into
You just
U.S.
keep
Steel.
dreaming. Your sleeper's too tall.
The sleeper's 13 even. Okay, those
Mm,
stacks are 13. No, the stacks are 13 even. The top of the sleeper has got to be somewhere around 12, 12.5, somewhere around there.
yeah.
So the sleeper's not bad. He gets out there. I heard that he was messing around with those stacks until 5 o'clock in the evening
Okay.
because we backed my truck on to avoid snapping my fairings off going down the road because that's
Right.
something that happened on the way out. One of the fairings snapped because the truck he brought me was nosed on to the low boy. And so he took the sawzall and cut it the rest of the way off. And, well, whatever. But um he got it on there and then realized that he couldn't fit the truck on there that way. So he had to take
Turn
truck
around.
off and turn it
Turn it
around.
around. So, as you know, then he got the truck all ready to go and he got a motel for the night.
Yes.
And then he bunked out there and got up the next morning to leave. And the truck
Oh, a
stop
guy
wouldn't leave.
died.
Yeah.
That's right.
A guy died and
Oh
the cops
gosh.
didn't know if it was homicide. So they locked the truck stop down and he had to sit there all morning long, couldn't leave. That's why you
That's
almost beat him
right.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was so
Somebody
weird. I got out to Trenton, and then I was halfway back across PA, and I called the boss, and I said, "Well, is he back with my truck yet?" Because it was halfway. I had done all this, and he's like, "Well, he's in Clearfield, PA, right now. Where's that?" I was like, "That's where we met."
yeah, he ain't left yet.
And he hasn't let. I don't know what's going on. He's making a project out of it. I thought, oh, for crying out loud! I was hoping they'd have it back and at least had
Fix.
well, I don't know about that, but at least known what was going on with it and had a plan in place, to work on
Fat
it, what they were
chance
gonna.
that was.
Boy, not even close. Most of the day shift guys were gone for the day when he rolled in with that.
Mhm.
In fact, they just kind of parked it on the north side of the shop, and then the next day they just
Mhm. Yeah, Jeff
uh
said he took it down there the next day. He needed the trailer, so
he needed the trailer, so he just took the truck down to Palmer,
yep.
and, and then I talked to
Said they pulled it off. They didn't drive it off. They didn't want to chance it.
yeah.
Said
Now
they started up, built some air
you
pressure
mean
up, and then pulled it off.
you didn't want to
That's what I heard. That's what
ruin
Jeff
that
told me.
transmission that you were going to pull out anyway,
Yeah, I
anyway.
guess so. Don't
I don't
judge.
think
Don't judge.
nobody really knew how bad it was, because I wasn't there to tell anybody in firsthand, because it was so bad. I couldn't even sit there in the truck stop the night before with it idling, because something in there was just sitting there idle. Something was banging against the shafts, against the gears, because I
Hmm.
think an 18 speed's got two shafts in it.
Yeah, it's two input
And
shafts,
yeah,
through
two
shafts
input.
is what they're called.
And so something was banging against it and making the truck move, like jolt a little bit. So I called up Shane in the shop. I didn't even think, you know how your brain just gets, "Ugh," and I called up Shane. He's like, "Well, I don't know, unless you want to find a piece of wood or something and jam it against the clutch." And I'm like, "Oh, I ain't got a piece of wood."
Hey, that ain't a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Just so happens I've got a foot and a half big old chunk of wood back there in the side box that I use it to jam under the fifth wheel if I'm going to pull sometimes we take those brand new
Frameless dump. Yeah,
frameless dump trailers out to wherever, and that's
wherever.
how I strap down the fifth wheel. So I stuck that in there, jammed it between the clutch pedal and the seat, and that held the clutch down, and that's how I got through the night.
I don't
Yeah.
even remember what I did. Let's see. I came in. I didn't work Monday. I don't. I literally cannot remember where I went.
You did dump trailer Monday, or I don't know about Monday, but Tuesday you were in a dump trailer, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I did. I went up to
Detroit.
Detroit. Detroit. Was that Monday? No, that was Friday. That was the last thing I did.
Oh,
No, it wasn't. You're right. It was the first thing.
I don't know
Oh,
what you did Monday, because I was off
oh yeah.
Monday.
I was off Monday too. Tuesday I come in, unloaded my Lafargo from from Dandridge, and then
Yeah.
I turn around. That's where I went. First I went to Dandridge. I come in Monday. Yeah, I went down to Tennessee because it had to be. I had to load Tuesday and deliver
You had to
Tuesday.
load that Tuesday and
Right,
deliver it Tuesday night. And
right.
it took from, what did you say? It was like 4 o'clock in the evening until
I,
9 o'clock at night.
I left at 5 in the morning and I clocked out at 9 o'clock that night.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, long day.
Did
So
you end up getting parking then at that new Love's, or where'd you?
yes, I managed to park right next to the scale until 5 a.m. and then they come out and ask us to move because traffic was so heavy coming in and out. But there was all kinds of parking spots in because I couldn't go nowhere till 10 or 9 because my 10-hour
Mm.
break. So, but then I come back and I run a dump trailer up to Detroit. No, I run a 10 trailer. No,
You
I
went
run a
and
dump
did
trailer.
something with wheels.
Yeah, I got motors up in Detroit, brought it back, dropped it, and then turned around and left for Pittsburgh. And then went out and got wheels and brought wheels back. And I left early Thursday because if I'd have left Friday morning like you wanted me to, it would have put me back Saturday
Yeah.
legally. So, and of course I didn't leave the paperwork for Craig. I had it with me, and they're all calling me, going, "Hey, where's the paperwork?" I said, "Sitting right in the seat next to me. It's not lost. It's right here." Well, we kind of need that. Well, so I took a
This is
picture of it.
Dave putting his terrible memory off on somebody else.
Oh yeah,
But oh, let's see. Oh, the week before, I guess it has been a fortnight. We can go ahead and talk about what happened the week before.
I
I
was on
got level
vacation.
forward. Yeah, you were on vacation the week before, trying like hell to get COVID again.
Yep.
Friday of that week, yeah. Full disclosure, folks, he went down last year. He
Mhm.
caught COVID at this doing, bless his soul. He does a church camp every year, or at least last year and this year, as far as I know. Have you
Well,
done that?
I'm about 5 years in now.
Okay. He goes down and he does the catering, the cooking for this church camp.
It's a children's camp, and they asked me to come down and do family camp because they want adult food. And the
Yeah.
camp does a real good job with kids' food, but they kind of want to step it up a little bit for families, So hot dogs and pizza and corn dogs and just don't quite cut it. So
Yeah, well, last year he went down there and he caught COVID, and I don't mean just like COVID. I mean like you're going to the hospital COVID. And
yeah, it was ugly.
so hmm, that had him in the hospital for at least a month, wasn't it?
22 days, I do believe. Now
Okay,
that you
well,
mentioned
that's
it,
that's
that's a
not
month.
that's a non-zero number to be sure.
Yeah,
Um, this year, he thought that was so much fun. He'd go down and see what he could
see
do
if
with
we
it
can do it
again,
again.
and he's still with us, folks. So praise name. And Friday,
Speaking of screwing stuff up,
oh, what'd
uh,
you do?
did you look at the show notes?
Well, which one do you want me to look at here? We got
Uh, Albuquerque. That is a Dave move right there.
highway double take. Albuquerque sign spelled with an R. I don't see an R.
Exactly. Keep reading.
Okay, we're going to get right in the news, folks. Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is from the Associated Press. It made drivers on Route 66 and Interstate 40 in New Mexico do double takes. A newly upgraded State Department of Transportation sign erected last week that pointed drivers toward Albuquerque misspelled the city's name, losing the R. Oh, Albuquerque.
Yeah.
It's Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Okay. People called and emailed the department to point out the mistake on the sign, visible to drivers on the parallel highway, said Kimberly Gallegos, a department spokesperson. You got to know how many people that had to get past in order
Right.
to get put up on the poles. Nobody
It's
realized.
I wouldn't have caught it just looking at it. I
I
see
didn't either. I
Albuquerque,
had to be told
East
that it was
Santa
supposed to
Rosa.
be there.
I never sat there and looked at it, and I'm like, what says 40 Albuquerque?
That's
Okay.
kind of
Then
like
it
how
says 40 East Santa Rosa. Okay, I get it.
that's how
And,
Bugs Bunny used to say, "Dad, what's up, Dak? I knew
yeah,
I should have took that right turn in
right.
Albuquerque,
Albuquerque. Yeah,
Albuquerque." We'll have a picture of this in the show notes, folks, if you
it's
get
pretty
the
funny.
audio only version. But this sign, this is no joke. This sign actually got put up
Posted.
without the R. Lord have mercy. The colony's governor, Francisco, let me say it right,
Uh,
Francisco Cuervo y Valdez, wrote a letter to Spain's Duke of Albuquerque to report it had been named La Villa de Albuquerque. The first R was dropped later, leaving Albuquerque with its current spelling, the city's website said, in his honor. Oh, okay.
that's why where the word I always kind of wondered where Albuquerque come from. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
I
it was.
skipped I skipped a paragraph.
I
Albuquerque
see that.
used to have another R in its name, according to the city's website. Colonists were granted permission in 1706 by King Philip of Spain to establish a new community on the banks of the Rio Grande.
Look at all
Well,
the
that's
useless
interesting.
history we're getting.
I'll tell you what,
Give me 5 minutes. I'll find us something we don't talk about.
that's about all we had, too. We had to
5
throw a
minutes.
show together here, folks.
Yeah. I would say we're phoning it in, but I didn't even use my phone.
Not this time. I mean, yeah, Stevens is in such a hard way down there. He can't even use his phone to do the show.
Yeah, he's well.
Which
Like the conversation we had yesterday was, I was beating up on him. I figured I was getting on your nerves because I was picking on him. So.
like, I want to get off this damn phone, man. And here you are making stupid jokes. And Steve's all serious because he's got people dying around him, and here's here's
Dave over
here's
there going,
Dave clipping off the one-liners, just just letting her rip. Yeah, it was great.
and then you realize you're the one that did the three-way call. When you
Yeah.
hung up, we all hung up.
Oh, I knew it. I
Date's over. Get out.
I hung it up, and the wife was standing right there. She's like, "You realize you just hung up on the whole thing, right?" I'm like, "Yep, I sure do." I have a feeling Steve ain't gonna mind.
Oh, I was laughing so hard, going, "Well, guess we're done."
Yeah, that
Uh,
we're missing him here sorely. Yeah. But we figured we've done the show with just the two of us before, and it remains to this day the the episode on YouTube with the highest views, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it still has
yeah,
a few more views than the rest of them.
and everybody goes, "Why is there only two of you when there's three fat truckers?" And I go,
You gotta watch it, some other videos.
"You
Oh,
need to
there's
watch it."
more of them on there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Oh well.
Well, throwing the notes together as we transition into serious news. I'm sitting there going, wow, we haven't talked about music lately. So I scroll down to the next one story, and it is short and sweet, but I thought it was funny.
Well, all right. So classic rock news.
Yeah,
Um, adorable videos of cats losing their shit to Iron Maiden is clearly what the internet was invented for, and I would agree with that. I really would.
I do too.
Personally, we can't think of any better use of our time than watching videos of felines freaking out to one another's metal. One of one to freaking
One
out
of
to one of
metal's picking
metal's.
up.
Maybe you should start reading the news. I'm clearly losing it. Cat
Well,
videos. I used to
there's
make fun of people
somebody.
watching cat videos, but
Oh, cat videos are hilarious. I
they
mean,
really
it's just
are. And the minute TikTok went online, a million cat videos got
oh
uploaded to it. You got already know.
oh.
So yeah.
By the way, as I was scrolling through this, our president has COVID again.
Oh,
They just announced it again. He just caught it again. So he's had it, got rid of it, now he's got it again. So that's today's big news.
I think you can get something at Dollar General for it now.
Pretty sure you
I,
can. It's free.
they got a pill for AIDS now.
Yeah.
And you think about what an impact that disease had on culture in the 80s
By the
and all
way,
that.
did you know Fauci was the one that said that AIDS wasn't going to be very bad. It's just it didn't. And I'm like, you missed that one too, brother.
It's a good thing he's got plenty of insider trading to lean on, because if he had to go by
Because
his
his
gut instinct,
yeah,
he'd be
he's
broke.
not batting very good. Inside
I
trade.
don't know.
There's a lot of truth to that because it's amazing. Hey Bill, let's pass a law. It says you can only do this when on this date, and this company can be the only one to do it. But before we pass it, let's go buy a bunch of stock, and then we announce it.
I can't hate on him though,
I
because
can't either.
I mean, if I'm sitting there and I know this is the thing that's getting ready to happen, which means there's getting ready to be billions getting put into
Yes.
this thing, how on earth is any human being expected to not capitalize on that information at least a little bit? My
Oh,
my thing though is that
why lie
I don't
about
know
it?
if we're
Just
afraid of holding people accountable for it, because it would
oh
just
my
be
God,
the
well
whole
you
the whole thing would come crashing down.
you know where you went to Trenton, New Jersey?
Yeah.
Everything north and south of Trenton and east of you would be in jail.
Yeah. It's just that, people, you just got,
We
maybe it
we
should be legal. If you are just by whatever circumstances,
or may at
it,
least confess to it. So
I just happened to know this was getting ready to happen, folks. So that's where I put my money, and now I'm rich.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
you should
Sometimes
have
you're in the
been there
right
first.
place at the right time. Sometimes you get the mine. Sometimes you get the shaft.
Yeah, I kind of got one of them stories today. I'll have to tell you later about. So,
Oh, well, I was getting ready to say about last week. Well, the week before, I got pulled in for a level 4 DOT inspection.
ooh, so you got the anal probe too?
Man, oh man, I got okay. So this was in Terre Haute, Indiana, on 70. I was
Wasn't
going
it? Wasn't
east.
that also a training level 4?
Yeah. Well,
The best kind.
I almost always get the green light on the pre-pass when I go through there, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't even on. And I get the red light, and I go in there and I stop, and I got an empty wastewater box. It's a roll-off box. It's what, a 30-yard box with a tarp on it. It weighed nothing. Yeah, I weighed nothing, and it gave me the light to go get on the scale. I get on the scale, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there, and I happen to know that sometimes they just like screwing with you, just make you sit there and just to like build
Watch you
your
sweat.
yeah, watch you
Bring
sweat.
your blood pressure up.
But then
How bad's it gonna do?
I got that light up there that said report around back for inspection. So I
That's when
start pulling around back. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna be good. I didn't think it was gonna be good, honestly. My truck's got 1,300,000 some odd thousand miles on it. I don't even know what all's wrong with it. The trailer
a
probably,
1,306 things.
yeah. Um,
Minor little ones, but
and the box too. I didn't know how much scrutiny they were gonna put into the box because it's got a couple of holes punched into the front of it. Um, I get on the phone right as I'm going around the building. I call Shane. I'm like, you might want to reschedule because I was supposed to get back, switch trailers, and go reload at Lafarga. And I was gonna get back just in time. So I called Shane. I'm like, you better get that rescheduled. Why? I said, because I'm fixing to get a level 4, brother, and I just don't know how this is gonna go. So so I go in there, and yeah, little lady, little blonde woman, nice as can be. She's standing there, she's guiding me in, kind of like when you go to Grease Monkey and you're pulling into the bay and you got the guy over here pointing this way, that way, this way, that way. Come on in,
I just
because you're
watched the
driving over a
TikTok.
pit.
I just watched a Tic Tac
Tic Tac.
video, Tic
Watch the
Tac
Tic Tac.
video of a guy driving through the pit with his front tire down in there,
You ain't
and
supposed
it
to do
didn't
that.
work out. Oh,
No,
so that was
no,
wrong.
that was the wrong thing to do.
The
Yeah,
wrong
so
thing to
she
do.
she pulls me in there, saying, "Hey," I said, "Hey." She's like, "Well, we're gonna do a little inspection on you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just random." I said, "Well, why'd you pick me?" "Oh, because you got a pretty truck and it's red. Red's my favorite color." I said, "Well, that's me off to the paint booth." I said,
I'm going to jail because my stinking truck is
"It's
pretty.
red." Yeah. So, and then here's the guy that's training her. Yeah, she was a newbie. She was well. For anybody that don't know, the Indiana DOT is hiring civilians now.
Yeah,
Apparently, they used civilians at one point in time, and then it just became such that they had enough troopers that were interested in doing it, and now they barely have enough troopers to just fill the regular trooper slots. I mean, even the good jobs are they don't have enough trouble, or they don't have enough people to fill them. Well, they're taking on civilians now, and um, she was she told me she was born in 66 and she was starting a new job. She was telling me how nervous she was because I told her that I'm gonna have to calm my nerves because my fingers get to, oh, don't be nervous. I'm the one that should be nervous. And I'm looking at her like, really?
yeah.
You ain't the
Does
one
it
that's
come out of
getting
your checkbook?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
She's
You're
like,
the
yeah,
one
I'm just
checking the bumps.
she called herself and I quote, an old girl learning a new trick. And I said, well, you know what? That's good. I tend to think people should do something that scares the hell out of them every now and then. You know what I mean? We
I
shouldn't
do. I
just.
drive truck every day.
Mm,
and it should
And
be
you
scarier for you guys, not me.
and it yeah, if you people only knew how many seconds from death you
You've
are,
been
especially when you pass me on the right. You have never been so close to death. And you're like, you know what I like doing when they pass me on the right? I like pretending like I don't see them
and
and
drift
then just
over.
start coming over on them.
I do that with my turn. So I'll turn my turn signal
Turn
on,
signal on. I start at
and
first
I
they're like, no way he's gonna come over on me. No way he's
yeah
gonna oh, he's coming over on me. And they'll do one of three things. They'll jam on the brakes and stop, or they'll go off on the shoulder. Sometimes they just freeze up and
yeah
they just freeze up. And I'm aware of them. I'm there.
right
I'm watching
yeah
what they're doing. I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm not gonna kill them, but they need to learn. These people
yes
need to learn. And so I come over on them. Well, one guy almost took the ditch because he just freaked out, hit the accelerator, except he broke loose because he was turning the wheel too sharp. Well, you know what? You need to
calm
get your
down.
head out of your ass and stop passing trucks on the right. And then I've made comments on Facebook about that, folks. You know, when you pass, I said, first of all, if you're riding in a car with somebody and they pass a truck on the right, that person has zero regard for your safety
Yeah, that's
because
right.
there's at least, you know, your average truck has at least 13 feet of blind spot on the right side. And you
Yep,
couple that with it's
bunch of
very
old
likely
drivers.
you're dealing with a driver that's limited experience,
A
might
lot of
not
them out
know.
there.
They sure are, you know, and they know to like they're passing a truck, they know to get out there a little ways past that truck and start coming over. If you if you add an element to that where a car just comes out of nowhere, and that's
How many
very likely what it
how
is,
many times have you started over for that right lane, and then about and boom, there's a car and it freaks you the
I
hell
keep
out.
on trucking.
It
Keep
just
on
you
trucking. These people need to learn. I'm sorry, but they do. So I like pretending like I don't see him. Well, anyway, I invited this guy, the one that was doing the I got through it perfectly well. They found a couple of chafed airlines and there was an air leak and that caused a little suspicion. Um, they wrote me a warning for the air leak. They couldn't find the air leak back at the shop. I think they will now because they said it was above the transmission. So that problem might fix itself. Um,
right.
so I told the guy, I said, well, you know what? I gave him a couple of our cards. I said, me and a couple buddies of mine, we run a podcast about trucking, and we wouldn't mind if you got the time, you know, coming on for an episode or two here and there. So um, watch this space. We might have a Indiana. He gave me his card too. I'm gonna get in touch with him. He talked about doing it on like a call-in kind of thing, and we don't really run our show that way because I asked him if he had a webcam and a microphone. He said he didn't, but anybody with a modern cell phone's got a microphone and a camera.
Or just a laptop.
Yeah, or yeah, anything like that. And
Yeah.
the way we do the show requires no software
No.
whatsoever.
And if we have to, and if he has to call in and we have to pipe it in, we'll call it in. We'll get his information. We'll ask stupid questions, and maybe it's safer that way that he doesn't see our faces.
Well, because he was asking a couple of things because he's been invited on shows. There's a couple of different types of trucker podcasts out there. You've got the ones that are, you know, the ones that are just basically for news for truck drivers,
Information, right?
information. You've got these podcasts where truck drivers are literally trying to pick a fight with
Yes,
law enforcement and that's really what he wanted to try to avoid. I said, no, we're not really we're
we're
not
kind of
really
in
in
the
an
bad.
we're kind of in the middle there, but I would say if we had to point towards one direction or the other, we would be pointing a little bit more towards the informative side, but yet we're
Informative
really
with a lot of bad dad jokes.
yeah, that's about it. We're not going to bring him on to pick a fight because we think
No, I don't care.
there's enough of that going on. Because one thing he wanted to bring up, there's a TikTok video out floating around out there of a Illinois trooper pulled over a driver. And of course, if the driver has got his phone in his hand and he's filming a TikTok, the moment the trooper walks up to the window, he's looking for a fight.
Yes.
just for content purposes. Well, that this is exactly how this went down. And the trooper asked the driver if he had his bed made. And that was the driver's cue to go ahead and flip the dick switch and come back on him about all this. Well, you can't write me up for not having a bed made and all that. And this is a thing I didn't even know about this until this DOT guy brought it up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people asking me about that. Do you have to have your bed made going down the road?" He said he thinks what that trooper meant was, do you have proper bedding? Because
Yes.
there is regulations saying
If
that
you're going to stay in a truck, you have
if
to
you're going to
have
be out overnight, you have to have the proper accoutrements to go with the bed,
a
which is like
blanket, a pillow, sleeping bag,
right.
something.
But the trooper did not like being questioned or pushed back against by the driver, so he just kept repeating the question. See, people go into jobs that should require communication and people skills, and they have absolutely
Like I got.
none. And you got a guy that's obviously looking for a fight from the minute you walk up, and then you're gonna put the usual stuff that triggers these people out there. Yeah, don't be surprised if you might have to backtrack on it a little bit. Well, this guy just kept repeating himself over and over, and
Oh,
so
that's not looking good.
that's
Not
not looking
looking good.
good. But but the guy, and I can't remember his name right now, and I apologize if you are listening. Um, he
He's
said
not.
what that had to be was that what he was trying to get to the bottom of is whether or not he had the proper stuff that he needed to be
Mhm.
overnight, the bedding. And he just kept repeating the same question. He even mentioned that when he's doing training, he makes sure he even said, um, if you get into a situation where people are trying to twist your words against you, don't be that guy that just comes back with the same kind of attitude. Sometimes you
I
got to know how to diffuse all of the tension.
I
Yeah.
think you should have to have your bed made. I make my bed every morning. If you're going to drive down the road and your bed is not made in that truck, you are not a safe driver.
Well,
That's
I
even
make my
hard to
rack
say.
every morning.
Uh,
In my mind,
ooh, army guy. Did you hear rack? That means
I
there were
tend to
dimes
think
bounced off of it. All
I
right,
just
file.
I've noticed in my life when I was younger, I didn't quite so
Yeah,
much,
same here.
and I've just noticed that my mind is clearer when my environment is cleaner.
Wasn't there's a video out there of a commencement speech, and the guy is I forget his name, but he says to get along in life, how to succeed in life, the first thing you need to do is get up every day and make your bed. He said it is
I've
the
heard this.
first accomplishment that you cover for the day.
Yeah,
No matter what, if your day's totally crap, it may be the only one that you complete. And after you had the worst day in the world, you come home to at least a nice bed.
yeah,
So
and that is
it is,
meaningful. It really
it is,
is.
it is very good. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with like no matter how bad it gets, no matter how much of a hurry you're in.
yeah,
When I'm on the road and I'm overnight, even when I'm in a hurry, I will take because it really takes
it's 4 seconds.
it
It's
takes no
nothing.
time at all.
It's fold the sheet, tuck it in, push it over. You're
Yeah,
done.
that's about
You're
it.
done. So
And so, and then the other
eh,
thing he did
especially when you wet
mention,
your bed, they don't see the wet spot. So
well, you got to
that kind
soak
of
that down with Febreze, and then
Febreze. Oh, okay.
by the
Yeah,
time you
yeah.
stop again, all that'll be oxidized and
Well,
gone like it never happened.
I leave the plastic on the mattress. So two reasons. One's when you roll around a lot, it wakes you up since you you know, so you don't oversleep. And the second thing is,
When you
you know,
when you don't quite make it out to the urinal
yeah,
because you've
so
got all your crap on your driver's seat. The
so
other thing he mentioned was, what he might have meant was you because some guys just throw all kinds of stuff back there on the bunk,
mhm.
and it can be a hazard if you've
When
got to
you
hit the
hit your
brakes
brakes,
and all that
yes.
stuff comes flying forward. So that's a thing too.
And those are legit concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know none of our drivers like Big Steve or nothing would ever have a packed sleeper with stuff flying around his cab if he ever had to hit the brakes.
I've the guys we work with fall into two categories, and there is absolutely no in between. They are either nice and clean. The cleanest truck I've been in is Zach's, and
Yes.
he's a heavy hauler. And his truck, he takes his shoes off before he gets in.
So
I can't
does
do it.
I do too, but I do it now for comfort, but somebody else's is that way.
Yeah, I think he doesn't keep his floor clean, and that I mean, I guess when you're young you can maintain something like that, but gee whiz. Or on the other end of that spectrum, you got the guy that
Hadn't took his shoes off in 14 years, and
well, we sit in line at
every
places like
every, every McDonald bag that you've ate at this
oh
year is
gosh,
stacked
chicken
over in the
over on the passenger floorboard, just chicken bones and drink cups and sandwich wrappers. Just oh, dude, when I was driving, I'm
and
not gonna
hard
name
hats
when I
and
was when I was a kid, I was driving for a company here in town, and we had this guy. I'm not gonna name names. I want to name him. I want to name him so bad, but I'm
spit it
not
out
going
there.
to. Denny Moist. Uh I hope he's dead by now. That way, not
um,
not because I didn't like him, because I hope he's dead. I just hope that he wouldn't be alive. Hey, you know there's a truck driver show out there, and these guys talk about you. They didn't say nothing nice about you. Well, I'm not getting ready to say anything nice about him. This guy, he was so fat
hey,
that
hey, 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 hey.
no, 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 no.
Tread her
There,
thin, you know.
he he was so fat, like we would be jealous because there wouldn't be anything left to eat. That I mean that kind of
Yeah,
fat.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. I thought it was
the
like a mom joke. Your mama's so fat.
no, this dude was so they our breakdown guy kept a stack of steering wheels over in the corner of his office. I'm not making this up. Kept a stack of steering wheels over there because Denny would reach up into the truck, grab that steering wheel,
And
pull
bend it.
himself in, and snap that sucker right off there every
Ouch.
single time. We had these T600 Kenworths, and the other thing I could never figure out because the passenger in the driver's seat had armrests on them, and these were the kind of they were the Aerodynes. They
Hmm,
kind
hmm.
of had the cone shape
Right.
to them, but it was two separate pieces. It wasn't, one piece integrated sleeper like we got now. And you had a hole to crawl through, and you had a space about like that between the
Between the
seats.
seats, yes.
And how he got his big hind end between those two seats, I could never figure it out. But he was one of the best drivers, and the only thing I could figure out was, well, yeah, once he got behind the wheel, he was there to stay. But he
He
would
was-
get he'd get these pies, right? He'd get these pies, these whole pies. I don't know where he was getting these pies. He'd put that pie on his belly like this right here, and he'd dig at that pie with his bare hands like it. Dig at them pie and shoving them in his face going down the road. He'd take that rind, throw him over there on that passenger side, and by the time by the time he'd get back at the end of the week, he'd have like a pile of these pie rinds over here on his passenger floorboard. We'd used to be at the yard on Sunday nights, and we'd all be getting fuel and getting our trailer hooked up and everything. He'd show up, and I remember telling them guys, "Now you watch. Look what Denny's wearing right now. When he gets back Friday night, he'll be wearing that exact same thing." Sure enough, we're at the fuel island Friday night. Here comes Denny Moist rolling in there. Gets out. Hey guys, got the same clothes on he had on when he left Sunday night.
except for a pie stain.
Big sad. He never had any pie on his shirt. He never. I don't remember ever
I
seeing any
have to
pie
get
on
I
his
have
shirt.
to think about that. Put the pie under my chin and eat it. Never
Man,
thought
he
of
had
that.
the he had enough belly right there to keep it nice and level, and
I dated a
he'd eat
couple
them.
girls. You could do that with a beer and a boob.
Oh, we had another guy. You remember? You remember when there was that Orange Ball 76
Oh
there in
yeah, yeah.
Columbia
You put it
City?
on your antenna so you can find your car.
Well, there
Except
used to
for
be one
everybody put one on their car, and
in Columbia City there,
yep,
and a lot of guys used to
the old truck
hang
stop
out there.
there.
Yeah,
Oh my
One of
God.
the old guys used to hang out there. Well, here comes my kid down the stairs, so I can't tell this story. Are you leaving? You leaving? You leave? Are you gone yet? You gone yet?
Date's over. Get out.
So this guy, he was known for frequenting a streak, frequenting a street on Chicago's southwest side called Cicero Avenue.
Okay.
When he'd be out, he would run a lot of Phelps Dodge. That was another magnet wire place that used
Okay.
to send stuff in the
And I take
90s.
it Cisco Avenue was a
Well, in those days, you could get a little everything you want.
okay.
And you know how some guys collect those cat scale cards, put
Yeah,
them in
yeah,
that little binder thing? Well, he had a
yeah.
binder where he kept pictures of every single one of these girls that he would frequent,
Okay.
shall we say. And
Okay.
it was he'd have his wife there with him. They would be eating with all the other drivers that were living around there in Columbia City. He'd be showing everybody these pictures
Right.
in this photo album of all these ladies of the night, shall we say, that he had
Right.
frequent. He's another one that ought to be dead by now. I'm pretty sure he was dead 20 years ago. But those are two guys that pop into my mind right now. That, like I said, these drivers, they fall into a couple of categories: either nice and clean and tidy, or else the kind of person you just you don't want them knowing where you live
Right.
because they're the worst sort. You know, we're at an hour.
I noticed that. So
We pulled
we
this off with
probably
just two of us.
I know we did. We stumbled right through here. And
We
we
did.
did truly did miss Steve.
We
And
did.
um but
Mo-
but it's gonna happen. We're all gonna it's gonna happen. All of us can take time off except for Bill because Bill runs the show and he knows how to download it. So he's kind of screwed no matter what.
I'm kind of screwed if I'm not here. I can't guarantee that we're never gonna have a time where we're not gonna put a show out. But man, if it is at all possible to get a show out every 2 weeks at 3 o'clock on Sunday, then my promise to you is that we will do that one way or the other. We've actually it's been a topic of conversation that we've come up with ways to use mobile devices
Yeah,
to make the show.
right
And
there.
yeah,
Key one right that little one right there.
that's
That's
just
for when Dave gets stuck on the highway.
he can plug that in. That's got USB on one end and the lightning.
Play it right off my tablet with my
Yeah, he can plug that
mic
into
and
his
my
iPad,
headphones.
and
So
we got a show. Now it's slightly more complicated for me because I have to be able to record it. But I think that if I've got to do on the show, if I got to do a show on the road, it can happen. You're just not going to get full high def quality video. I'll have to crank down the video quality quite a bit, but I don't think anybody really cares how many nose hairs you can count on Dave, and
yeah. I
you
shaved
know
him today.
how
Feel pretty good.
bloodshot Steve's eyes look from one show to the next. Oh, a little bit of admin. Let's get through it.
Well, let's
If you
wrap
like
this
the
show up.
show, yeah, if you
Yep.
like the show, please hit like and subscribe on the YouTube
Actually,
channel.
even if you don't like the show, hit
Yeah,
like
hit
and
it
subscribe.
anyway
Yeah,
because
just hit it.
it's we really appreciate it. We appreciate, just anybody listening. If you do subscribe to the audio only, just go on over to the YouTube. It won't cost you anything. Hit like and subscribe.
Yep.
And we're on all the socials out there. Everything from the Facebook to the oh gosh,
The
we've got a
TikToks, the
Telegram.
Instagram to
Uh
Telegram to Facebook
Steve makes a little
to
TikTok video every now and then. I don't think he did one this week because it was a little
well, if he
chaotic.
does, it'll be muddy, so we don't want
It don't stop and it don't quit.
it.
But yeah, we're everywhere. Even Telegram. We've got a Discord. Discord I really like, but I don't think we're ever going to get much traction on that. Telegram, there's a grand total
Especially
of
not
one
dealing with all
person.
that mud.
Oh wow. Just let it
It,
go, Dave.
they just keep coming.
Or you can email the show. Email address is show@3ftpodcast.org. Um, I'm working on I've been saying this for months. I'm working on a new website where you can watch the show. You can watch the latest episode on the website we've got right now. The website address is 3ftpodcast.org. You can watch the latest show. You can listen to the audio only. But what I'm working on is a new website where you can actually leave comments directly on the website. I don't know if that would be of interest to anybody. You can comment on the video itself on YouTube, and some people have done that. The email is there. Uh, we've had a grand total of one person email us.
Hey, you got one. You didn't
Got
ask
one,
for
but
how many. You
but
just said I need some.
The Facebook
Yeah,
is there,
it's pretty
and
active, and even the three fat truckers on Facebook. There's a lot of comments, a lot of that seems to be
that's
our majority where
yeah.
people.
I think the Facebook page is probably going to be our most successful, and I get a notification every the second you send something to that. I'll get the notification, and you can
I
interact
need
with
to
any
put some
one of
more
us.
stupid videos up there because they seem
Yeah,
to do well. So, but we've been all busy. Little vacation here and there, and get back
busy
to life.
work is never going to stop being crazy.
So,
But yeah, we appreciate everybody. We hope you have a good week coming up. We'll be back here in a fortnight to give you what you need, baby. Until which time, I've been Bill.
and I'm Dave.
Have a good week, folks.
Thanks a lot, guys.